All right, well, we are live from the 63rd Annual SIAM Convention, and now I am joined by the President of the Mahindra Automotive Division, Mr. Veejay Nakra. Thank you, Mr. Nakra, for joining us, sir. First question to you, what is new at Mahindra? We just saw a whole lot of launches, the electric Thar coming up, the pickups coming up. We were also, in fact, seeing tractors being driven across the South African landscape, sir. I'm going to ask you, how's the response been, sir, post that unveil? What are the consumers saying? What are the viewers saying? We know what journalists are saying, but how's the response been, sir?
I think the response has been extremely encouraging, both on the electric front for Thar E, as well as for the global pickup, and for the entire tractor range. I think this was our first, so to say, I would say, the global story launch done and outside India in South Africa. And, if I just look at the kind of response to the kind of content that have been put out by, thanks to the journalist fraternity, it's been amazing. So, some of the content on videos for the Thar E, each one of them have received, or, the kind of viewership has been in the region of 13 to 15 million, a single post put out. So I think the response has been very positive. It's been very encouraging. People are extremely excited to see this unique sort of design that we are going to put out with Thar E as our vision. And also a lot of excitement around creating a global pickup, which will be for the Indian market and for certain markets like Australia, South Africa, Latin America. And also with the EV range, we kind of put out our vision to say that our EV story is not just an India story, but we will also look at markets like UK, Europe, and some of the other markets.
Sure. Also, sir, when you see a trend in the Indian automotive industry, it has clearly moved on from a hatchback to a sedan level car to an SUV. And now Mahindra is taking the next step with the pickup vehicles. So are you kind of seeing that SUVs and pickup trucks will now coexist in the Indian automotive space, and that will be where the demand actually will be?
No, it's a very interesting question, because when you look at matured markets, the pickup is seen as a lifestyle pickup and a workhorse pickup. But when people talk about SUV as a category, in many of the markets, the lifestyle double cab pickup and SUVs club together to say that the market is about 50-60%. Right now in India, just SUVs alone last month clocked close to 60%. I think there's a great opportunity going forward for a product like a lifestyle pickup, if we are able to bring the right proposition to the country, which is what we kind of hope to do with the global pickup that we spoke about in South Africa. I think that will really help to create a new category. And M&M in the past, with the products that we've launched, whether you go back to the time of Bolero, whether you go back to the time of Scorpio or Thar, and now even 700, we've really disrupted categories. So we believe that there could be a great opportunity with the global pickup.
Right. If I may ask you on the supply chain issues, sir, XUV 700 was one vehicle which really saw wait time extend to a longer period. But now OEMs are facing issues and that have started to sort out for the supply chain. I want to ask you, how is the supply chain situation now, and how is the demand waiting for now, sir?
I think supply chain issue to a very large extent we've been able to iron out in the last 4 to 6 months. Consistently, month on month, the performance has only improved. Last month was a record month, which broke the previous month, which was a record month. So I think a lot of the issues which were related to semiconductors, by actions we've taken over a period of time, we've started now seeing the benefit of that. But I just want to, cautiously also, I want to be optimistically cautious, let me put it that way, which is, I don't think things are totally behind for the automotive industry on the semiconductor front. I think one has to keep managing it over quarters and over months. So I think that's how we will be approaching that going forward. As far as demand is concerned, whether you talk about Scorpio N, whether you talk about 700, whether you talk about Scorpio Classic, whether you talk about Thar, we continue to see the same trend of bookings that are coming in, and the cancellations aren't coming down. So we continue to have a very, very strong pipeline of bookings, which is one of the reasons out of the 2 or 3 which has helped us to get to the volumes where we are. And that's why we believe as we get into the festive season, if there are no new surprises on the supply chain side, we should have a strong and good festive season.
Sure. Mr. Nakra, we have about close to 90 to 95 days odd festive season period in India. and festive season is considered as a season where people actually tend to have good, bookings for vehicles. It's a good time for you also, for the consumers also. So, what is the trend that you are foreseeing this festive season, and what are the numbers when it comes to sales during those times, sir?
I won't be able to give a guidance on the numbers for the sales, but if I look at the booking pipeline, as I mentioned to you, we've been consistently saying that the booking pipeline is in the range of 2.8 to 2.9 lakhs. It continues to be there. Cancellation rates are the same, which is in the region of 6 to 8%. Fresh booking pipeline continues to be in the range of 48 to 52,000 depending on the month. So I won't be able to give you a guidance on the number, but all I can say is that we will be having a strong festive season as we go forward.
Strong festive season, because clearly, sir, Mahindra is breaking all the records when it comes to best ever month. Every month we get a best ever month. So actually, I wanted to ask you guys, how are you doing best ever month all the time? But also shifting my focus on the Scorpio end, sir. How's the response been? And if I may ask you, what is the breakup of the volumes of the demand that's coming in, sir, when it comes to sales? Which is the best selling car that Mahindra is now selling, sir?
So just first on your previous question, best ever month, because we always had the capacity of 39,000. Sure. The supply chain was the challenge. Booking pipeline was always strong. With every month, as we sorting out the supply chain, last month we were able to produce to our capacity. Okay. So it helped us to get to our best month ever. Okay. Your second question on which is the highest selling model in the portfolio, Scorpio as a franchise, which is Scorpio N plus Classic put together, is leading on the portfolio. That's because the capacity between the two of them put together allows us to do 10,000 plus numbers. But on the demand front, I would say Scorpio as a franchise, 700 and Thar as a brand, all three of them together. Let's say, I wouldn't want to use the word compete, but in the portfolio, all three of them have a very similar kind of demand in the marketplace.
Sure. To end my last question, the usual, how would be the outlook for the upcoming year, sir? Festive season is gone. I know you're not giving up much guidance, but on a macro level question, sir, are you anticipating the demand to be the same when it comes to EVs also?
No, I would just want to put one or two things out on the demand front. So first, while the demand continues to be extremely strong when we talk about the portfolio, I also wanted to mention, which we did mention a couple of months back, that we are seeing certain amount of headwinds at the entry level sort of portfolio, and especially between the 8 to 10, 11 lakh price point. So certain brands like the XUV 300, Bolero Neo, there are some headwinds as far as those products are concerned when it comes to demand. And I think that largely could be governed by the erratic monsoons that we've been seeing, which has an impact on rural sentiment. And the second piece being that I think that segment is a little sensitive when it comes to interest rates and their EMIs. And I think given the prolonged increase or the high interest rate in the category that we've seen for a period of time, once that softens, I think we will see a little bit of relief in that segment. So while the overall demand continues to be robust, the 8 to 11 lakh price point has seen some headwinds, and we believe that probably will continue for some time. But the rest of the portfolio, the demand continues to be strong as we go forward. And we've also said that our capacity will now increase from 39,000 to 49,000 as we pivot to the last quarter of the financial year or the first quarter of next calendar year. So I think if you are able to manage the supply chain well, we should be able to see a surge when we get to that level of capacity. And as far as EVs is concerned, I think the category is seeing a little bit of headwinds and challenges. So while there are lots of new models being launched, the overall numbers, if you see, and we talk about growth over previous year, it's a triple-digit growth. But if you start looking month on month, in the last couple of months, the kind of growth that has been there about 4 to 6 months back, that kind of month-on-month growth seems to have kind of tapered down a little bit. But I think it will also have to do with the exciting new products that will come out. So as new products come into the category, they become more affordable, they offer more tech, they solve issues like range anxiety. I think the category will see a significant flip.
Also, you mentioned earlier in our earlier conversations how Mahindra will be leading the charge for electric vehicles, sir. So, with the Thar E now into the picture, by when can we expect that to be rolled out, and what's new at the electric version?
So, we've not put out any date at the moment for Thar E. We've said it's our vision, it's the concept, it's a vision concept that we put out there. Having said that, we've already put out that we are moving very, very fast with our Born Electric range of EVs. Starting December 2024, the first product will get into production. And we have a very exciting offer of 5 products already announced before we bring the Thar E. So, a lot of excitement as we'll move into the EV space.
So, well, lots of excitement coming up from Mahindra's automotive division. Stay tuned to Mahindra if you're really a fan of EVs and, of course, the big and the bold SUVs. Thank you so much for watching.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.